Welcome to the Professor's Lab podcast, a show with a nerd, a clown, a duck, and a degenerate. Today we're going to be talking about how I am not transphobic, I promise, okay? So basically, I made this main channel video. I'll flash it on the screen real quick. Is Lily Orchard innocent? Okay, if you don't know anything about the Lily Orchard situation, which nobody's going to see this podcast episode, and so that's why I'm doing it on the podcast here instead of on the main channel. Okay, okay, let's back up. Okay, so the Lily Orchard situation. Lily Orchard has been accused of all sorts of grooming, abuse, and incest allegations, dating all the way back to the 2000s. That's the beginning of the lore, even though Lily was born in the 90s. Okay, So, yeah. So it's kind of like a whole cesspool kind of argument situation on the internet. It's just internet beef, honestly. Like, saying that it's real beef is a bit of a stretch, all right? And so, yeah. Okay. So I made a video about this, and I was criticizing some things about Lily and even the other people that were criticizing Lily, and I'm just saying, you know what? I'd say I have a pretty unique perspective. You know why it's unique? Because I don't respect anyone on any side. These are all degenerates. This is what happens when you're terminally online, and yeah, you get it. But then I also kind of did a hit piece at pretty much the beginning of the video. My first major point in the video was that the trans ideology is very toxic and mask your issues instead of facing it head on. That's something I've said a lot on the main channel and possibly on the second channel here on this podcast. But like earlier, I've kind of stayed away from the LGBT kind of conversation for a while, not because I'm scared. It's just I kind of said everything I want to say. Okay, I don't respect the community. I don't respect a lot of people that are part of the community. Hate is a strong word, and so I wouldn't go as far to say that I hate any of the people, even though I probably have. But as of right now, I will retract that. Okay, I don't hate these people. I hate the community. Okay, just in general, but no one in particular. Okay, I hate the trans ideology. I will say that. I think it is one of the many big examples. I'm talking like top 5 big examples in society right now. That is just, we're sterilizing ourselves literally and figuratively. Okay, transness is not helping us right now. It is not what we need. Okay, and so yeah, apparently that's a transphobic rhetoric. Okay, what does that mean? Well, it means that I'm either dog whistling or I forgot the other term, but like I'm using transphobic remarks to kind of signal, hey, I hate trans people. This is why I don't like them. And so thus that justifies why I don't like Lily Orchard, despite them being a degenerate that allegedly is an incest freak and has groomed their own siblings and has groomed at least like one minor. Okay. Yeah, it's just this whole like, oh, you're transphobic thing. We all know how it goes. This has been going on for 4 years. Okay. It's just so tiresome. Like, what do you even do at this point? No matter what you say, they're going to paint you as an enemy. And they're going to be like, oh, you don't agree with me? Oh, you probably hate me. You're transphobic because I'm trans, coincidentally. So, seethe and cope. Get out of my face. You're a bad person. You see, I would like to make the argument that I'm not a bad person, at least when compared to these people, because I'm not doing this out of hate. I'm doing it, if you can even believe it, out of love. Okay? I want to love humanity, but it's hard to do that when we have all of this degeneracy just being normalized, okay? So I want to back up real quick. I think that's a good way to start this podcast episode. Basically, what I want to do here in a sec is kind of react to my own video here and kind of dissect it a little, because I've gotten so many comments. How many comments? 109 comments, counting some of my own, but yeah, let's say 100. 100 comments from 100 different people, probably, of just clowning on me. And I will say, some of the comments, they do bring up some good criticisms about the video itself. Not so much about what I said, but just like, okay, a little bit of what I said, but like some people, of course, they would point out, well, you don't show any evidence of this happening, so your point is invalid. And I'm like, okay, sure. I rush my commentary videos, I am aware, okay? I work on my videos for like 2 to 4 hours, and that's it. All right, research, reacting, editing, uploading, thumbnail, that's it. 2 to 4 hours, sometimes 6 hours, but that's like rare. That's if I'm like really locked in. Okay, I do that every single week on the weekends so that I can have as many uploads as possible, because that's just how this goes. That's the YouTube game. If you want to succeed, if you want 780 subscribers like me, that really isn't that much, but you know, if you want to even hope to get something like that, this is what you got to do. All right, especially if you're doing commentary, you got to upload as much as possible. Anyway, yeah, whatever. There are some valid criticisms, and I will point them out once we get there. But what I want to talk about for the most part is just the transphobic allegations. And I can barely even call them allegations, because if you watch my video, if you've seen any of my other videos about the trans thing, I'm not transphobic. Oh, I just remembered. Okay, there was maybe a couple instances in the past where I labeled myself as low-key transphobic, but I went on to explain it's not the same thing as normal transphobia, okay? Low-key transphobic is when you, this is my definition, it's when you disagree with the trans ideology, but you don't hate trans people themselves. Just because someone is trans, you're not going to be like, oh, get the frick out of here, I don't respect you. No. If someone agrees with the trans ideology, you can be like, okay, I don't agree with that. All right, I hope that's fine. I hope we can still be friends. All that stuff. Okay. So, yeah, I'm low-key transphobic. I don't like the trans ideology, but I don't hate trans people. I have trans friends. I should have mentioned that. I know that's like such a basic thing to say. Oh, I have gay and trans friends. I'm not a phobic person, but it's true. If someone is transphobic, then why do they have trans friends? Okay? That doesn't, it completely defeats the label. Like, they have some secret prejudice against them. Why the frick do I give them food? Wouldn't I want them to starve? Okay? Yes, I'm talking about giving food to my friends at school, because that's a normal thing. I do it with my cis friends and the trans ones. I don't care. Okay? We have things we can find in common. Like, I remember in one video also a while ago, I called myself, like in middle school, a leftist. I don't think that's true at all. I identified as a Republican when I was in middle school, before there was this whole, like, multi-spectrum political thing. It was just Democrat and Republican. There was no centrist or anything, at least for the most part. Yeah, I identified as a Republican. Obviously, I don't now. Anyway, why was I saying? Yeah, okay, so basically, I used to be such a little bit more of a libtard than I am now. I used to be an LGBT ally before I learned of the horrendous things that the community is up to all the time. Okay? And so now I'm not an ally. I do not respect the community. I respect some of the people, but the community as a whole, it is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, and I am not exaggerating. if there's one community I can abolish off of the face of the earth, and again, I'm not transphobic, it would be the LGBTQ IEP plus Pro Max community. Okay, I don't want to abolish the people. I want to abolish the community. I want to abolish their sense of like, oh, we're in this gang. It's like a gang violence. You disagree with us. Oh, we're going to shoot you. You're canceled on Twitter. You know? All the other communities that I can think of, other communities that I also don't like. LGBTQ IP plus Pro Max community, that is number one on my list that needs to be abolished. They do not deserve to have that sense of a safe space community, because they're making it an unsafe space for literally everyone else just because they don't agree with them. Just because you don't agree with the trans ideology, which is... I'll get into that later. Just because you disagree with the trans ideology does not make you a bad person. What does make you a bad person is saying that you hate all trans people and you want them to die. That's what would make you a bad person. And I don't believe in that. I don't think all of them should die, okay? The ones that kill themselves are the ones that are bullied and they drive themselves to suicide, okay? Someone that kills themselves is under their own merit and under their own influence. And so if they write in their suicide note, this is because of transphobes. They're lying. It's because they convince themselves that they're not worthy to be alive. Okay? And if you're running a community such as the LGBTs, where so many of them are miserable as frick, insecure as frick, and suicidal as frick 24/7, I have some questions. What are you teaching these people, and what are you putting out there in the community or in the world in general that causes people to be this insecure or even just self-centered and feeling like they need to be babied all the time by the movie industry, California? I don't... Okay. So with that, I have so much more to say about trans people and the community. Well, not so much trans people. Maybe a little bit about trans people, but just the ideology in general. I have a lot more to say about that, and I will be getting into that a little bit more in this podcast episode. But before I react to my video here, I do want to explain one more thing. Hopefully it's just one more thing. Hopefully I don't go off on any more tangents. So gay people, the LGBs in the community, what do I think about them? They are fine. I will say that straight up. I have two brothers. One of them is straight and engaged right now. He's in his mid-20s. The other one is the oldest brother, and he's gay, and he's 30 right now, okay? Imagine coming out in 2012. That's crazy. I can't imagine that. I didn't even know he was gay until 2019 when I was 13. I was like... It was such a perfect time to realize that he was gay as well, because that was when I was extremely not homophobic. I used to be homophobic when I was in the beginning of middle school and most of elementary school, when I found out what being gay meant. Because I was told to hate them. Well, no, I wasn't. I don't know. There was something that made me hate them. I don't even remember what. But yeah, when my family found out that I was homophobic, like, I admitted it to them. I don't really like them that much, you know. They're like, what the frick is wrong with you? They're not diseased at all. They're normal people. It's just they like to take it up the butt. And so I realized later on, they were so defensive about gay people because the oldest child is gay. And I had no idea until I was 13, because they waited to tell me about that until I was older. A teenager. Okay? So yeah. So that right there, I'm immediately safe, in my opinion. I don't hate all gay people. There's barely any gay people I hate. I already said before, I don't hate any of these people. I hate the community, I will say that. because hate is a strong word, and I hate the community. Okay, but so yeah, I'm okay with people being gay. Now there is a debate about gay couples adopting kids and raising them and stuff, and pushing their ideologies on them, and sometimes forcing them to be gay as well, because we just want people to be like us. Like, what's the harm in that? And so I do agree that to an extent it is absolutely harmful. I did have a friend in middle school. I talked to him a little bit during high school because we went to different schools. I had a friend in middle school. He has 2 dads. He's adopted, okay? And he was such a strange kid. He was kind of energetic in 6th grade, and then 7th and 8th grade, he became like emo and stuff. Well, not really emo. It wasn't until high school he kind of became emo. He became a femboy in high school. Middle school, he got all quiet and depressed. I don't know why. He never told me, but high school, I look at his Discord profile, and it's like a femboy profile picture. His bio is like, Satan's child, slit my wrists, kill me now, you know? I'm like, what the frick happened to this kid? Is this what happens when you have 2 dads? Anyway, so that is my one example of a gay person I know that is Wait, no, he's not gay. I don't think he's gay. Maybe he's like bi. I don't know. That is the one example I have of a kid that has 2 dads and end up being like that emo, depressed, autistic. Yeah, I don't know. Femboy. So I don't know how much influence the parents had, but I'm just saying, like, the thing happened. Not saying it's because of the parents, but it's possible. I don't know. I never met his parents. Anyway, like, so obviously I think most of us can agree, forcing an ideology on your kids when they're super young, like toddler age, elementary age, showing them what to think rather than how to think, that is bad, okay? Why is that bad? Well, let me use an example. So when you have a country or a nation where all the people, they kind of pee-pee ride the government or king or queen, and they can't say anything against what the ruler says, and because they'll get jailed or executed. That's a dictatorship, basically, okay? People not being able to speak their mind without getting murdered by the police, that's not good. And so imagine a kid speaking out and getting murdered by their parents. I'm joking. A kid will speak out and they get punished by their parents because it's not what the parents believe, okay? Now, obviously, there's some things you kind of need to instill into the kids, like, don't murder people, don't steal. Like, that's like the main exception. Alright? The 10 Commandments, written by Moses himself, okay? Or, no, it was like from God. So, the 10 Commandments written by God himself. Yeah, whatever. So, like, yeah, when it comes, so here's the thing. I will make the argument that pushing LGBT stuff to kids is worse than pushing religious stuff to kids. Whether that's Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, I don't care. Anything is better than LGBT propaganda, okay? And I have reasons to believe that having LGBT children is harmful as frick. Okay? I see people all the time. I'll bring up an example that I saw today on Twitter. Okay? People always try to bring religion into the conversation, especially when they're debating a libtard. And I'm like, no, don't bring religion into this. They don't know anything about religion. The religion does not speak to them. Some would even go as far to say that God has abandoned them, which I don't think is true. Okay? But, yeah, whatever. So, it might be a little bit difficult to see. So I'm going to read it out loud. So this is a person, Melanie Mac, cross emoji in the username. Find a transgender person who is not a pervert, does not watch porn, is not autistic, and does not have mental health conditions, and has not been abused. I have yet to see or hear of one. Transgender is not real. It is demonic. People within the community are mentally unwell and vulnerable and manipulated at best, and otherwise are some level of perverted and depraved. They need to repent and follow Jesus. Redemption is possible. Affirming depravity is cruelty. We all fall short in some way or another. Being stubborn in sin isn't the answer. Accepting Jesus Christ and walking with him is. And then here's a comment. You left out not on some form of meds. Yup, this too. Seriously. So I agree with this tweet 100%. Don't get me wrong. What I don't agree with in terms of like tactics of preaching to liptards is using that religious argument. Because unless if they had a religious upbringing, they're not going to listen to you. They're going to be like, okay, whatever, you're religious, you're stupid, you're indoctrinated, okay, we don't agree. So then they're going to use that as like, well, I'm not religious. Why do I have to listen to you? I don't care. Can't we just live how we want to live? I mean, the world would be such a better place if that's how they responded. Most of the time, that's not how they respond. So here's a way that they would respond. Here's the other screenshot I have. Here's a furry, Karis Murian Dedlin, explorer of Enigma sector. My own mother suggested that I self-terminate, aka end his life, or something. At least I think that's what he's saying. Now, I found love and acceptance in a non-traditional queer relationship. Are you trying to tell me that what I have done is wrong? Wait, did she talk about gay people? Transgender person who... People within the community are mentally unwell, vulnerable, manipulative, past, and otherwise some level of perverted and depraved. They repent and follow. She didn't say anything about gay people. Where is this coming from? See what I mean? They gaslight in front of you to paint you as a worse person than you are. Anyway, you shouldn't self-terminate, but the queer stuff is not love. It is depravity. You were made for so much better than that, and it's not too late for you to find Jesus and walk with him instead of staying on the destructive path you're on. Again, I agree with that. But there are so many better ways of explaining that. I used to make videos on my channel, like in the beginning of my commentary era in 2023, where I would integrate religion in some of the stuff I would talk about. And even with the abortion video, I think the abortion video I made was the last straw for me about the religion thing. Until 2Mad died. Rest in peace, of course. But, yeah, so people would tell me, why the frick do you hate abortion? It should be a woman's right to kill their own child when it's not born. And I'm like, well, I'm religious, so whatever you're going to say to me, I'm not buying it because I'm religious and I don't believe in that. And they're like, oh, okay, whatever. You're still wrong, though. See ya. So I kind of learned my lesson. If you're going to communicate an argument to liptards, don't fall back on religion all the time. You can do it sometimes, but every single time, I'm religious, so I don't believe in your stuff, and here's why. Use worldly examples. Okay, so me with the trans thing, I have worldly reasons separate from religion of why transness is harming society more than helping it. Okay, these other people, like Melanie Mac here, telling a furry to find God, it's not working. Okay, anyway, let's continue. Who made you the arbiter of what is love or not? You are saying that two men who have sacrificed so much for the USA, despite all the bigotry we faced, are evil? Despite the financial support we give our siblings, help our parents who still love us? Wow, you are cruel. And then she says, I I'm not the arbiter of love. God is. God is love. I encourage you to read the Bible. Telling you the truth is not cruel. Those who are affirming and encouraging depravity with you, however, are the ones being cruel. It's not too late for you. You are not stuck. And then she says more, but I don't think it's that important. But yeah, like I said, I agree. I think finding God is one of the best ways to improve your life. Because I think the most important part of religion, this is my opinion, you can disagree, I don't care, is the moral system. Okay, you need to have good morals to be a happy person. And I am not exaggerating. I will die on this hill. Religion provides the best morals. Like the 10 Commandments, like I mentioned Moses earlier, okay? There's at least some truth, and in my opinion, all truth in those 10 Commandments, okay? It doesn't matter what time period. It doesn't matter if those 10 Commandments are 3, 4, 5,000 years old, okay? It's wrong to kill people unjustly, okay? It's wrong to steal. It's good to love thy neighbor as thyself, okay? Now, that's technically a quote from the New Testament in Matthew. Matthew 22, verse 39. That's a fun fact. That's my favorite scripture. That is on top. Because it reminds us, loving thy neighbor as thyself, it reminds us we are all human. Okay, we're all children of God. And so we must treat each other equally and whatever. Like, you can debate people, I guess. But you can't be like, I hate you so much because you don't agree with me. We can't do that. Okay? And tangent real quick. Okay, I already forgot what I was gonna say. Frick, hold on, give me a few seconds. Okay, so many LGBTs fall back on the argument, oh, you're Christian, why don't you love thy neighbor as thyself? Why are you telling me that my beliefs are invalid? That has nothing to do with loving thy neighbor. Just because you disagree with someone doesn't mean you hate them. Can you please get that through your noggin? We don't hate you guys. We just hate your ideology. That's different than hating a person. Okay? Again, hate is a strong word. I'm using the word hate when I talk about how I feel about the ideology. Other people might say, I just disagree with it. I don't hate it. I just disagree with it. Or I dislike it. I don't think it's good. It's not bad and I don't hate it. It's just not good. I hate it. I personally hate it. I'm using the word hate. I'm sorry. I can't sugarcoat it. Okay? And I'm not transphobic. I don't hate these people. I hate the ideology, and I hate the sense of community that they have to where they think they can do whatever they want and just manipulate everything. Always play the victim. He doesn't agree with me. I'm gonna kill myself. It's his fault. Kill yourself at your own discretion. I'm not encouraging you to do it. But if you're gonna do it, it's not my fault. I'm not the one putting the gun up to your forehead. Okay? Or putting the knife up to your wrists. Okay? I don't make death threats to people. I can't even remember the last time I made a death threat to someone. I think the closest thing as of like the past 4 years I've said to that would even come close to a death threat is, I'm gonna finger you and stretch your booty hole to 5 feet. That would probably kill someone over a certain amount of time. Am I implying that I want them dead? No. I'm just, I'm implying that I'm going to sexually assault them. I was 13, by the way, when I said that. That's what I'm referring. It's a Twitch clip. You can find it on my old channel in the Twitch clip compilation. But I don't know. Okay, so gay people, yeah, they're fine. If a gay couple adopts a kid, and stuff, and they indoctrinate them. That's bad. But if they raise them in a mostly traditional fashion under the household, I'm okay with that. Gay people can adopt kids. Okay? My oldest brother that's gay, he doesn't have a kid. He doesn't ever plan on having a kid, I think. So it's up to me and my other brother to have kids. So we can continue the bloodline. But yeah. So, I love gay people. I love everyone. To be honest, I like all women. Dark skins, love them. I kind of like their booties jiggling. Yeah. I really love gay people. Specifically. LGB, you guys are cool. You are fine. TQ plus, I have some things to say about you. I don't hate you. I just want to talk. Okay? So that's what we're going to do today. Let's react to the video. Let's get it on. This is going to go crazy. We are half an hour in to this podcast. Okay, let's go. You ready? It was good, dog. Today we're going to be talking about Lily Orchard. I initially did a recording alongside my podcast co-host Owen, reacting to Lily's latest video going over all the drama that's been going on, but I decided that it is not nearly transformative enough and does not give me the capability to talk about my perspective on this whole situation properly. But first, who is Lily Orchard? Well, I will have none other than Lily Orchard themselves introduce themselves. Okay, I want to say straight up, when I said people were getting mad about that. Okay? We might get further into this video, and we'll probably see other reasons, but they're claiming that I'm misgendering Lily. I never misgendered Lily. If saying them instead of she is misgendering, sorry, bestie. I do not see a problem with that. What's wrong with gender-neutral terms? Like, someone doesn't identify as non-binary and you can't say, oh, they're over there hitting the gritty. You can't say that. You have to say, she's over there hitting the gritty. What if you can't tell? It's... You probably heard this argument before from other people. I'm just going to add on to it. Horrible. It's ultra sensitivity. This is like, what is this, 2020? Get out of here. Also, I just noticed. Let me get my face cam out of there. Yeah. You can probably barely see it, but the tags on this username, it says FBLM. That's funny. He's doing a service. Alright.
My name is Lillian Valerie Orchard. I'm a YouTuber who does media critique that is predominantly focused on characters and themes. I've often gotten a reputation for being negative based on a minority of my videos, but my work actually takes concepts and ideas and unpacks them regardless of quality. I'm also a survivor of long-term physical, emotional, and sexual abuse that went on from my birth until I was about 26. Over the years, my abusers, which include former friends who I broke things off with because they were abusive, have tried to deplatform me with increasingly extreme accusations, right up to weaponizing the right wing's rhetoric about trans people and even policing my ethnicity. For the most part, I've attempted to simply ignore these things and
I did that. I think. They're accusing me of doing that. Let's continue.
Move on with my day. But after 12 years, it's reached the point I can't just ignore it anymore and decided to unpack all of this harassment.
With that out of the way, I can personally sit here for 2 whole hours explaining the Lily Orchard lore and everything that has led us up to this moment here today. But I am not here making this video announcing who I am siding with or even discussing new information that has arose from the woodworks. I am specifically here to introduce a new perspective on this whole situation. Now, I have of course not watched every single video that has ever been made about Lily Orchard, but I've seen enough to get the gist of this whole situation and why Lily Orchard is a bad person. So if you're wondering, these right here are all the videos that I have seen. Alright, take a gander. I have been going deep down the rabbit hole to truly see who is in the right here, Lily Orchard or the people accusing them. The majority of these I say them again. I never say he. You know who does say he? Owen, but I cut those parts of the recording out. I left the other parts in. allegations being thrown out are just abuse. Lily Orchard is a manipulator, and they talk very saucy in front of minors, or sometimes to minors. That's basically all you need to know going into my video here, because there is minimal evidence for any of this happening. There are screenshots shown in all of these videos accusing Lily of these horrible things, but there is no concrete evidence that proves Lily Orchard is the one that in fact did these things, or is the one that solicited talking saucy to a minor. Now, I'm not totally siding with Lily Orchard. This is not someone I really respect for many different reasons, and that's not really important right now. I am also not saying that I side with all the people accusing them, because in some ways they're not any better. So that's when I get into my unique perspective that I want to discuss here today. I'm going to cut up some clips from this hour-long response video that Lily Orchard uploaded, and there will be some commentary from me and my podcast co-owner Owen that is embedded in the recording. And these clips are cherry-picked so that you can get a clear image of what Lily Orchard has gone through, as well as some of the other people that are discussed. I'm trying my hardest for newcomers that don't know who this person is to understand what's going on. So here we go.
Even Courtney herself goes back and forth between citing examples of me supposedly breaking the law, but then turning around and making excuses not to have me charged. And while cops can be negligent in their duties, that's not where trans women are concerned. The argument has always been, the cops don't take sex abuse seriously. Bro, I am an indigenous trans woman. Of course they're gonna take it seriously. This is how you know these people are just drunk. More than a few people have cocked an ear that this was rather unusual behavior and turned to me and went, Lily, were you being sexually abused as a child? And the answer is yes. I've talked about it before. From ages 6 to 11, I was being molested by a teacher. And from ages 14 to 15, I was being raped by an underclassman. Courtney even confirms both of these events happening in her first appearance with Poppy and Xena.
Now, I wanted to show these clips in particular so that we can have receipts on Lily's self-perception. They are an abuse victim. They are trans. They are supposedly indigenous, but there's a lot of evidence suggesting that they are not actually indigenous, and it's all just a lie to get attention. So with that, I think it's pretty safe to say that Lily has suffered from mental illness their entire life. This is a groundbreaking discovery, I know. Bear with me. So I'm going to try to quickly talk about the whole trans side of it all. This is something I talked about a lot. Spoiler alert, I don't quickly talk about it. I think it takes up a little bit more than half of the video? I don't remember. Maybe exactly half of the video. And then I bring it up again 2 other times from the middle to the end. Here we go. When I first started the commentary era of my channel, more often than I mentioned that as well. I talked about the trans thing before many times on my channel last year. Not people that are trans have a severe mental illness. And so using this trans identity masks their issues rather than dealing with it head on. And so they create all these lies, they discover a new identity, and then they move on from their past and they become a new person. I've confidently made the argument that is not healthy whatsoever. Using trans ideologies to mask your issues is not going to help them or resolve them. Getting physically or schmexually abused at a young age is not going to go away by simply changing your gender or schmexuality. Sometimes you can't really... Okay, so what I said right there... So someone accused me in the comments of overgeneralizing why people become trans or gay. And like... So, yeah, what I just said, they're molested, okay? That's why they're trans, okay? They get used by a larger, older individual, and then they're like, oh, I want to change my gender, That's what the interpretation was of what I said, okay? And so, here's the thing. Am I wrong, though? Are there not trans people and gay people out there that were touched as a little child or maybe a teenager? Thus, the trauma manifests itself with this LGBT stuff. Is that not true at all? Are you denying it happening? I don't know. I'll go and find the comment when we're done looking at this video. Okay? I just want to get the reaction out of the way. I don't want to make this more convoluted by having screenshots of the comments. We're going to go through every single one. All 100 of them. Just going to skim them, read them through. There are at least a couple of comments that are like super long. They typed essays. I was at summer camp this week, and I looked at those comments, and I'm like, I'm not reading this. And because it was kind of like a mini vacation. All right, I'm at a summer camp. I'm staying overnight for a whole week at this university, and I didn't want to have to read comments about why I'm transphobic. Anyway, yeah. So, obviously, not all trans people were molested. I guess I should have said that in the video. I guess that's a fair argument to make. But I guess in the moment, I just thought it was obvious. Like, not all trans people were, like, molestation victims or anything. Which is obvious in itself. Like, I don't think I need to bring that up. But I'm saying it now because some people are just smooth-brained, I guess. But, yeah. Like, I'm aware there are other reasons why people become trans. It's just, the one that concerns me the most is the fact that so many of them are abuse victims. Either that's physical or schmexual. Strange. Why is that? Why does the trans ideology appeal to abuse victims so much? I don't get it. Why do lesbians, like, what is it, 50% of lesbians, I don't remember, or maybe it was like 70%, are abusive relationships. Like, one lesbian is just like this big buff woman, and she's like, I hate you, and they beat their girlfriend. Like, why? Were they beat by their fathers, and so they manifest that in their girlfriend? You know, and it happens with straight people as well. Straight people, cis straight people that are touched and abused, they become odd sometimes. And so, I'm aware, just because someone is molested, it doesn't mean they're going to become trans. Or just because someone is trans doesn't mean they were molested. I'm aware. I thought it was obvious that I was aware. I thought that's just common sense. I bring it up because you'll see in a sec in this video. So let's continue. They control your schmexuality shifting. Kids that get abused and they end up being gay. Like, it's just unfortunate, whatever. But becoming trans, that's taken it a step too far, buddy. Now, of course, there are trans people out there that aren't severely mentally ill and are actually happy in life. Now, despite that, do I have any evidence that there are trans people that are happy? No. What, are you just going to ask a trans person, are you happy? They're probably going to say yes. But I need concrete evidence. I need documents from the psych ward saying, yes, this trans individual is happy. Of course. So, another comment criticized that point as well. Why do you need evidence from the psych ward to see that there are trans people that are happy? Are you stupid? What about that makes me stupid? I am actually curious. Do you have reason to believe that the majority of trans people are happy-go-lucky people? I would be astonished. Every single member of the LGBTQIAP+ Pro Max community, gay and trans, they are miserable as frick. Okay? And those are the ones I personally met, obviously. And so that's why I bring up, yeah, there's probably some trans people out there that are genuinely happy. Do I believe that? No, I don't believe that. I'm just saying it to kind of virtue, I guess, just so people... I'm kind of calming the waters, or whatever. So, that's me being inauthentic, I guess. But yeah, I think we would all be hard pressed to see find out that there's a trans person out there that isn't insecure. Because the whole reason why you're trans is because you're insecure. Transness encourages insecurity in being something that you're not. Okay? You're enabling insecurity. Why would we want kids to be insecure? Let alone full-grown adults that are functioning members of society. Oh my goodness. Like, these people are just so delusional and so unself-aware. Okay? And again, I don't hate them. I will say it as many times as I need to. I don't hate these people. I hate the ideology. I hate the way they think. Okay? Let's continue. Of course, transness is not the only thing that goes into masking issues. There's a lot of other things that people will indulge in order to hide from their past, like withdrawing from friends and family, sheltering yourself from new experiences, and surrounding yourself with constant temporary dopamine rushes that give you that temporary happiness rather than long-term happiness. And so, okay, so I bring that up because so many trans people are terminally online, degenerates, and are depraved. Like that one, the Christian chick on Twitter said, transness is a, what's the word? It's the result of depravity. You are depraved from something. What are you trying to get out of being trans? What were you missing as a child that led you to change your gender? Okay? It's as simple as that. And I don't think that should be a controversial thing to have concern over. And if I'm being honest, I don't think any of this stuff that I'm saying should be controversial. Transness is not good for society. Now, obviously, I am aware that's a hot take. And that's why I'm saying, in my opinion, none of this should be controversial. So many people are going to take this as controversial, even some conservatives. Like, that's a little controversial. You don't want to say that in front of a trans person. You might get your eyes gouged out. So be careful, buddy. Yeah, I'm aware. Anything else I wanted to say? Yeah, trans people are terminally online. They are not happy individuals. They only do what they want to do, and so they partake in addiction, such as substance abuse, video games all day, every day, Netflix, okay? Obviously, these are things I have done. There are days I would play video games all day long, okay? Even recently, last month, this month, a lot of us do it. Am I saying that is a good thing to do? Heck no. You know what I should have been doing? I should have been walking around the park, getting sunlight. But I wasn't. I made the conscious decision, you know what? I'm not going to go outside today. I'm going to grind Call of Duty. Going to grind Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, whatever. Just because I feel it. Just because I feel like it and just because I can. Okay? Trans people, they say, I'm going to do this. No one's going to stop me. And if someone says that I should be doing something else, I'm going to dox them. I'm exaggerating. But yeah. I'm going to ruin their life. I'm going to say that they're a bad person because they're telling me to do something productive with my life. And yeah, everything is all about me. You know? Alright, I guess let's continue. Those things might consist of drug or substance abuse, avoiding physical activity and staying inside and playing video games and watching Netflix all day, getting in arguments on the internet in hopes of winning the argument and having that self-satisfaction that affirms to yourself that you are the best person in the universe. These are things that I can very clearly imagine Lily doing, along with being trans. And on top of that, Lily and a bunch of these people that are slandering them are well into their 30s now. It is clear that they have all kinds of unresolved issues and trauma that has not been resolved to this day, and so in turn, it has turned them into degenerate millennials. There are all kinds of examples of trans people well into adulthood that become degenerates and stuff, like Vicky 1999, Jessica Yaniv, Amy Challoner, Finster, who's getting HRT to minors allegedly, Alok Vaid Manon, and Keffels, who set up Kiwi farms and was also getting HRT to minors. Now, of course, not all of these people are confirmed to be 100% guilty, but there were accusations thrown out there, and why could that be? So either these people are victims of prejudice and bigotry, or there's something that they are actually doing that is bad. I don't want to be that guy that's just like, all trans people are groomers, they're bad. That is not my point here. Of course, there are all kinds of... Okay. I was trying to pause the video, but I was still on Streamlabs. And on OBS, when you press space, it ends the recording. But on Streamlabs, I don't have that bind. And so I thought I ended the recording for a second. Oh, I'm so glad I don't have that bind on Streamlabs. Anyway... Okay. So yeah, there's also a comment. I got multiple comments actually. I think this is one of the main criticisms. I'm again overgeneralizing trans people as like they're all groomers and degenerates when literally, hold on, let's run it back. Conservatives that trans people are groomers, they're bad.
Wait.
That is bad. I don't want to be that guy that's just like all trans people are groomers, they're bad. That is not my point here. Of course, there are all kinds of conservatives that have been exposed to be groomers, and it can be politically convenient on both sides to throw. Yeah. I'm aware. Not all trans people are bad. I don't hate every single one of you. I don't hate any of you. I just disagree with most of you. Okay? Like, okay, no. What they were saying was, I really should just be reading the comments as I'm responding to them. I know. I'm a bad YouTuber. So, like, just because there's all these other trans people that are degenerates and they groom minors and stuff, and they do illegal activity, doesn't mean it justifies you being transphobic to Lily Orchard just because there's allegations of them also doing the same thing. First of all, I refuse to respect people that groom minors and are degenerates in anything of that capacity. And the fact that Lily has all of these allegations, just stacking these stacks of allegations of all these things that have been going on in the past 20 to 30 years of their life. Innocent until proven guilty, yeah, I get that. But the whole reason why I'm making the video is to dissect everything I can and everything I know about Lily so far. And assess that maybe they wouldn't be such a degenerate if they, like, had a better therapist when they were younger and, like, actually improved their life rather than, like, sinking into self-destruction. Because, so Lily, she's famous for making the Steven Universe is horrible, and here's why. Steven Universe is awful. And I watched that video. It's like 3 hours long. It was so fun to watch. I didn't react to it or anything. I was just watching it while I was playing Borderlands. And like, oh my gosh, it is the best hit piece on a TV show I've ever watched. Not because I agree with anything she said. Why did I just say she? I don't respect this person. I don't agree with anything Lily said. It's just, it was so fun to watch because it's just like, lol, go outside, touch grass, nerd. Why are you ranting about a kids show and trying to accuse Rebecca Sugar, the creator of the show, to being like a Nazi sympathizer because Steven cried about the diamonds and like became friends with them rather than murdering them. It's a kids show. What the frick do you expect? Like, I get both sides of the argument. Like, why are you making video essays about a kid's show? Like, it's not that deep. And then there's also the other side of it where, well, I know it's a kid's show, but I like dissecting it and seeing the ideologies behind it. In some cases, you can absolutely dissect it unironically to see the ideologies, because shows like The Owl House have clear agendas of what they're trying to teach kids. I love The Owl House, obviously. Actually, that's not obvious, but I'm saying I love The Owl House. I thought it was a great show. I would not show it to someone under the age of 13. It's TVY7, that's the rating on cable. So that means it's for ages 7 plus on cable. But I would not recommend it for someone under 13. Other than that, I'd say it's a good show for teenagers. If they had some language in there, some profanity, I think... oh my gosh. I think that would cater to the right audience, because that's the majority of the audience anyway. Are there some kids that are under 13 that watch The Owl House? Absolutely, I wouldn't doubt it. But I think that I genuinely think the targeted audience was 13-year-old girls. So that's fine. You can have two girls kissing if the targeted audience is 13-year-olds. To some capacity, that isn't okay. Like, imagine like some grown man jacking off to the Luce and oh my gosh, I'm forgetting her name, Amity. Imagine a grown man jacking off to Luce and Amity kissing, and I think it was the season 2 finale, or it was like the episode before the finale. Like that go. Imagine how many people there are that actually get off to that scene. If you've seen the show or you've seen that clip, you know what I'm talking about. I think generally we shouldn't have kids, minors, in like kids TV shows kissing the same gender, let alone the opposite gender. Because it's kids. Like, it was a lot more normal back then, but now I think I don't trust Hollywood anymore. I don't trust the TV industry. I think there has to be some malicious characters behind the scenes of the Owl House. Okay, apart from Dana Terrace. I think that's how you say her name. I used to call her Dana Terrace. I thought she was Hispanic, but I saw... no, she's white. But yeah. Anyway, why am I talking about this? What the frick was I talking about? Hold on. On both sides to throw out that... Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess I said everything there. Hopefully. Let's continue. The reason why I bring up all these trans people accused of these terrible things is because I want to point out that trans people are this, like, anomaly that for some reason a lot of them are victims of schmexual abuse and then in turn grow up to be schmexual abusers themselves. And there, right there, I said that earlier in this podcast episode. Is that wrong? Are there no trans people at all that were touched when they were young? Hello? Is there evidence where... I'm baffled. Like, I want to say real quick, the thing is, when a liptard tries to debate you, they don't use actual evidence. They accuse me of not having evidence, and then they don't show evidence themselves. And yeah, I will take the fault. I should have evidence for this stuff. I just don't because I rushed this video out, so I don't care. But are the claims I'm making wrong? Do you have reason to believe that what I'm saying is like conservative propaganda made to like denounce the trans community and get them all suicided and stuff? Encourage them to kill themselves? Like, it's just getting like it's kind of schizo, you know? Like, I feel like that's the case with a lot of these liptards with other things like abortion or Black Lives Matter. This country is unjust, that we're being oppressed. Where is it? Can you show me an example? Oh, George Floyd. Was he getting kneed to his neck because he was black? Or was it because he was using a counterfeit $20 bill and he was a fentanyl addict? Oh my gosh. Like, they've all been fed lies. They've all been bred psychologically to do this. Okay? And so that's why I'm saying I don't hate them. I hate the ideologies because the ideologies are from the mainstream media and the people in power that, I guess, indoctrinated them, yeah. Taught them to believe a certain way rather than resorting to tradition. Okay? And so in this case, tradition is 1,000 times better than what we have now. We need to resort back to tradition. We'll think of new morals some other time. Right now, we are not mentally well for it. Okay, let's continue the video. And it doesn't just have to be schmexual abuse. It could be the other things that I mentioned. People masking their issues and trauma and becoming terrible people because of it, because they don't have permanent satisfaction. They have the temporary satisfaction that ruins their lives rather than making it more productive. So with that, is Lily Orchard a degenerate? Yes, absolutely, 100%, no doubt about it. They have been a degenerate for many years. There's all these receipts of them making these degenerate comics, allegedly full of like Stockholm, which I would love to talk about Stockholm in detail, but this video is going to get age-gated and stuff if I do. Lily Orchard, please address Stockholm. You did not do it in this hour-long response video, and you are looking more guilty the more you deny it ever happened, because there's all this evidence that you actually made Stockholm and are an incest freak, whether or not you schmexually abused your younger sister. Who is this mysterious younger sister, you may be wondering? Well, let's transition into my next point. But okay. So, was I calling Lily a degenerate because Lily is trans and nothing else? Obviously not. I don't recall there being a comment accusing me of exactly that, but like, I just want to drive home the point. I have actual reasons besides the fact that Lily is trans to believe that they're a degenerate. Okay? Like, I will admit, I do think most trans people are degenerates. Not because of them being trans, but because there's something that led them to being trans. What do they do, or what have they done, or what do they believe that causes them to be such a degenerate that they think transitioning is the one thing that'll make them happy in life? So I think I'm well within my right. Okay, let's look up the definition of a degenerate. Alright. Gosh dang it. Alright. Degenerate. Having lost the physical, mental, or moral qualities considered normal and desirable, showing evidence of decline. Lacking some property, order, or distinctness of structure previously or usually present. Oh, that's like technical. An immoral or corrupt person. Decline or deteriorate physically, mentally, or morally. So, with these allegations of Lily being a groomer, apparently, am I not well within my right to call Lily a degenerate if they are true? Let alone being trans and losing that sense of morality? I've been saying this the whole time. They have no morals. They think grooming children... I'm gonna use that word grooming lightly when it comes to indoctrinating children. Some people think it is grooming. I honestly don't know what to believe. I'm just gonna say indoctrinating children. Because that's slightly more true than grooming. It really just depends on the situation. Because it appears grooming has multiple definitions. So we're going to use something that specifically applies to the situation. So, yeah, when these people are indoctrinating children, what is the morality behind that? You're teaching them what to think instead of how to think. Obviously, I think I've been indoctrinated by my family to some degree. But there's obviously a cutoff point where I'm old enough to where they're like, okay, I think you can think for yourself now. Okay? And so how do I do that? I have 2 YouTube channels that I run at the same time where I practice my free thinking. Okay? I analyze things on the internet drama, politics, and I get to talk about why I think they're stupid or something, you know? And I think that's awesome that I get to do that. Okay? So, I can't deny so many of my beliefs are from my parents, but that's because I respect my parents. I think they are well grounded in their morals, and they're older. Okay? Unlike a lot of people, I respect the opinion of my elders. I don't mean to sound rude by calling my parents old, but they're old enough to know that society didn't need this trans stuff back then. Okay? Society didn't need President Carter ruining the economy in the 70s. Amen. First, here are more clips and highlights from us reacting to the response video.
She's trying to paint me as someone who was just born wrong. Who was genetically rotten and came out of the womb of...
You're trans. I think we figured that out already, so there's no need to debunk that.
When we were teenagers, Courtney walked into my room one afternoon and made a simple ultimatum. Don't resist or I'll tell Dad you hate me.
Oh my gosh. I should probably mention... Okay. So, I'm also not sure if some people specifically pointed that bit out. So Lily's like, oh, my sister's like accusing me of being born wrong. Like I came out the womb just demented and stuff. And so I paused the video and I'm like, you're trans. Of course you were born wrong. Of course there's something wrong with you. Okay? Is that transphobic? I don't hate Lily as a person. If the allegations are true, maybe that's a different story. But I don't hate Lily because Lily is trans. I hate the things Lily believes in, and I hate the things that Lily thinks is okay. Is Lily a bad person? It's not technically for me to decide, but if I had to decide, I would say yes. Lily is a degenerate. Okay? But yeah. So like, okay, if someone asked me, is there something wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Was I born wrong? And I had to respond. Am I not allowed to say, well, you're trans, so I want to know what's going on. I'm worried about you. All right? Being trans, that's not really a good sign of mental health, or you wanting to be trans even. Is that transphobic? So many of you people will say yes, absolutely, without a doubt. You're telling someone that they're not valid for being trans. That's transphobic. I say no, it is not. Absolutely not. Okay, why is there a difference between becoming trans and supporting this whole trans ideologies thing and being like a drug addict or an alcoholic? Okay? I'd say all of those things are terrible for you. You're encouraging insecurity, you're enabling it. And for the drugs and alcohol, it's substance abuse. And of course, you can equate that to like the HRT and stuff. But what I'm talking about is just the fact that all of these things, they're ways of masking your issues and not dealing with them head on. Okay, being someone else. You drink alcohol so that you can be a little bit more light-spirited. Okay, if that's what alcohol does to you. Anyways. Okay? Now, it's a bit wishy-washy. I know that's like a strange example. But I hope you get what I'm saying. Why are we allowed to say, you're an alcoholic, you need help? But we're not allowed to say, you're trans, you need a better therapist. Now, there's obvious reasons that people will say to denounce what I just said. But can we please just think about what the trans community has done to people, especially young people that weren't molested? They're told, if you feel a different way, you probably are a different way. And they're like, oh, I don't have nearly as bad of trauma as all these other people, but I'm going to become trans because it's cool. Okay? And then it just snowballs into this mental health crisis. Let's continue.
Then she raped me that day, and continued to do so for a year. I mentioned being sexually abused at 2 points in my life by 2 different people. Here are their names.
I don't know who that is. Lily is accusing Courtney of abusing them.
Yeah, dude, that's literally the exact same as Laylee. Okay, what did Lily mean by that?
It's Courtney that likes incest. It was Courtney all along. It wasn't Lily. Lily's not the abuser. It was Courtney. It was the other way around. It was a younger sibling abusing an older sibling. What the frick? You never see that. What I want to know is, if they're lying about you, why are they doing it? Is it to absolve themselves, or is it because you did something that's too not good to even talk about? And so they're talking about these other things so that you face repercussions for these other things that they're not mentioning. That's a bit of a stretch, I know. But like, still, why are they doing this if they're just going to lie about it?
Like, this entire section in the Ethel section, there's nothing going on. It's just only like this game, you know? So like, the fact that like you're not showing anything about this is definitely suspicious.
Now, I'm going to throw this criticism of Courtney, Pete, along with all the other people together. But here's a screenshot from a video that Courtney... Okay, so from here in the video, I mostly dropped the trans thing, but like I said in the beginning, I bring it up like 2 more times, just briefly. So, yeah. he uploaded of her showing her face. And here's a little bit of an older photo, but still kind of gets the message out there, of Lily Orchard. And this is a good photo of Lily Orchard, if I'm being honest.
Okay, you know what I want to know? Are these honkers real? I was thinking about this earlier today when I was preparing to make this episode. Like, is Lily on HRT? Because Lily's voice is way too deep to, like, be on estrogen. And considering how long they've been trans, like, are you wearing, like, pads under here? Or, like, did you actually get implants? Because that sounds expensive. So, you know. Anyway, just a thought.
Absolutely stunning. If I have personally learned anything about my super educational psychology journey right before I go to college and study it, then it's
wait. Okay, so Lily made this video recently talking about sibling love and stuff. And at the beginning of the video, Lily's like, well, I have a lot of friends that have like a psychology degree and they use that to annoy me. I'm like, wait, so you, or I don't know if they were friends, but they're like stalkers, right? Stalkers with psychology degrees that critique everything about your life. Yeah. So I was thinking about that. I'm like, wait, so you know these people that hate you, that happen to have a psychology degree, and they use their knowledge from psychology, from school, to annoy you. Interesting. So, with all of that information, with not really much evidence or context, I kind of conclude in my mind, wait, does Lily reject basic human psychology to justify their lifestyle choices? Like being trans? Like, you know what I want to know? How many trans people that just graduated high school that go into psychology and then all of a sudden they decide they're not trans anymore? That would go crazy. Okay? So yeah. I brought up this psychology thing in my own video here before Lily uploaded that video about the sibling love thing that I just mentioned. It's just kind of a coincidence. So basically, if you bring up basic human psychology, Lily will be like, nope, not for me, thank you. Nope, you're wrong. I'm not going to listen to that. How close-minded. Like, we read the definition of a degenerate. Lily is a degenerate. Absolutely. This is just adding on. Just self-reporting.
A lot of trauma and abuse victims will not only mask their issues by becoming trans in some severe cases, but they will also get piercings and color their hair.
Ooh, here's another thing people pointed out.
As undesirable as possible. Maybe they're making themselves look ugly and undesirable intentionally so that they don't get touched by an old man like they did when they were a child. Or they could be doing it without self-awareness. They could be doing it out of boredom or to replicate some sort of style. But at the end of the day, someone that chooses to get piercings, tattoos, or color their hair or cut it in some provocative way will lack self-respect for who they are, which is a common symptom for trans people. They lack the respect for who they're born in.
Okay, so I thought that was a pretty well-grounded argument, if you ask me. Okay, people that get piercings and cut their hair provocatively or color their hair, wear the most disgusting makeup, they don't respect themselves. They don't respect for who they really are. They want to attract people that are just as mentally ill as them. Okay? And so people in the comments, and again, we're going to read the comments after we're finished watching this video, they were saying, I hate to break it to you, Professor Teagues, but some people just like piercings, you know? They think they're hot. Why do you think people get piercings? Because they're abuse victims. Like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, that... I literally said after that point, some people do it out of boredom or to replicate a style. So, okay, if people are commenting and reacting this way, I guess it's my bad for not explaining this a little bit more in detail, because literally the only bit of me kind of making these comments that they wrote invalid is me saying, well, maybe instead of physicalizing their abuse,
they're getting piercings and coloring their hair and wearing horrible makeup to replicate a style or because they're bored. Okay? So when people come up with a fashion style, it's to attract people. Okay? So using your context clues of what you know about fashion and what you know about replicating styles. Yes, I know. Some people think piercings are attractive. Some people have a nipple piercing fetish. Okay? Some people might not even call that a fetish because nipple piercings are normal now. Okay? I am aware. You think I'm stupid? You think I'm not in tuned? I'm friends with these people. Not a whole lot, but I know these people. I know people that get all these piercings and color their hair and get these goth makeup, bruh. And I don't think they're well grounded in their morals. For the most part. Okay? I don't think they're mentally well. Okay? Yeah, I don't know. I'll save the rest for when we get to the comments. And so they chop off their pee-pee and they get implants, all because they're under some delusion that they need to change and that what they're doing is actually helping themselves. And so with that, looking at these two photos of Courtney and Lily, is Courtney any less of a degenerate in that regard? I don't know, probably, but probably not. The reason why I'm going into detail about their appearance and about the minimal information that I know about their past traumas is because we don't know their whole life story. I'm going off of what I know. So what I can confidently conclude is these people do not respect themselves or each other in a very toxic degree. They have unresolved issues and they choose to resolve those issues, or at least they think they'll resolve it, by attacking each other and trying to deplatform each other and ruin their careers and further destroy their own respect for themselves and also how other people see them on the internet. Now, Courtney, of course, does a really good thing by trying to reach out to Lily in private. So less of a okay, hold on. So something I want to add. So you see this, you see both of these photos of Courtney. So something I didn't mention, which I didn't think was important to mention, but I'll say it now. When I saw Courtney for the first time, with this face reveal thing on her channel, I was thinking to myself, I can totally imagine this person like eating at the lunch table. Someone says like an edgy joke and they're like, "You racist bigot," you know? And so why are woke people the way they are? Well, it's because they don't have grounded morals and they get their information from the mainstream media and they believe what the mainstream media wants them to believe. They are broken individuals that just... And so, yeah, I wanted to dissect Courtney's appearance to kind of project my belief in that because, just look at her. Is Courtney mentally well? Would she have the authority to accuse Lily of being a degenerate like I am right now? Probably not. These are abuse victims. They're mentally ill. They haven't fully resolved their conflicts. To the point where Courtney has piercings and color her hair and you know? So yeah, tangent. Degenerate in that regard. I don't know, probably. But other people see them on the internet. Now, Courtney, of course, does a really good thing by trying to reach out to Lily in private so that they can hopefully resolve this whole drama that they've had for over a decade. But of course, Courtney messages Lily on DeviantArt, which is a platform Lily rarely ever goes on. So, Courtney has a freak out moment and just like goes off on Tumblr and she's like, Lily's a bad person, they don't want to resolve this in private, so I'm going to ruin Lily's career and I'm going to make videos about they, them, and it's going to be awesome. And so that's again, quote unquote, misgendering Lily. Private number. I have a private number calling my phone. What does that mean? I've never seen that before. Do I pick up? I guess they just don't want to get doxxed. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. That was it. That's exactly what happens.
And before she went on this warpath, she actually reached out to me. Hey, it's Courtney. We need to talk. I can't imagine the fuckers who birthed us in any way are supportive. Supportive of what? I don't know. And I've blamed you for a lot in our childhood that wasn't actually your fault. I'd like to change that. Text me or call me at... She did this on DeviantArt. I didn't see it.
DeviantArt.
I log into DeviantArt once in a blue moon. And I guess because I didn't answer in time, she started doing this. And then while she was having a bender on Tumblr, she kept bitching about the fact that I wouldn't talk things out with her. I mean, do I need to draw you a fucking map?
Hey, Angie, about earlier, kill your whole fucking family. Work's really stressful. Little cocksucking piece of shit.
Is Courtney any better of a person than Lily in that regard? I don't think so. Because Lily even considered forgiving Courtney up until this moment.
I was in therapy for a long time dealing with the consequences of her abuse. I've had a lot of complicated feelings about my sister over the years. Some days
Yeah, if you, I know this is a cheap blow, but if you've gone to therapy, you're obviously not mentally well. And so you probably have a messed up moral system to where you need to look to a therapist rather than God for advice. So I don't know for a fact that I've ever met someone from my church that is an active therapist goer. Because when you're in church, you don't need a therapist. And that's final. Anyway.
I've hated her. Other days I've wanted to forgive her. I know that sounds absolutely fucking crazy.
Now they're both going back and forth and continuing the battle and seeing who can beat a platform first. At least that's how I'm perceiving it. Do you guys remember that Holocaust survivor that forgave one of the Nazis being prosecuted in court rather than condemning him and making sure that he has the worst rest of his life ever, you feel me? Do you think that Holocaust survivor lived the rest of her life regretful over the fact that the Nazi didn't truly get what he deserved by being a Nazi and contributing to endless suffering in the Holocaust? I don't think so. The people that are truly winning in life are people that can find the forgiveness for others that have... Basically, I'm going armchair psychologist Jordan Peterson right here. Like, why don't we all just be friends? Why don't we just forgive each other? Like, negativity does not help anyone. Okay? Yeah. Just kind of being the opposite of Ben Shapiro here, because people at the Daily Wire, they want negativity. And I think the most valid criticism people have against the Daily Wire is the fact that, like, they preach God stuff, Christianity, Judeo, whatever, and but I guess they're not loving thy neighbor as thyself. When it comes to the trans thing, I think using Matthew 22 verse 39 is not valid, because they're not saying they hate trans people, they're saying they hate the ideology. That's totally different. Yeah. Have wronged them in the past, rather than finding ways to have moral superiority or even moral equivalence and fighting each other about it, so that the person that was wrong can find closure and the other person can be condemned forever. I know that this is a very specific way of explaining this by using an example of a Holocaust survivor, but I think it's a pretty decent example. It reminds us that there can be worse things that can happen to us. There are ways of overcoming adversity no matter how traumatic and how terrible. And so condemning others because of your own misfortune is not going to help the situation whatsoever. I don't care who molested who. Lily and Courtney, they need to work this out in private. They need to take up that offer of discussing it on DeviantArt and keep it away from the internet, because making this public on the internet is just like the Wilbur Soot and George Not Found situation that happened a few months ago, of which those situations I have made multiple videos on. And of course, these are events that occurred way in the past, either in the 2000s or 2010s, doesn't matter. These are completely different people, and them not resolving this conflict has turned them into disgusting Democrat voter millennials. I'm exaggerating, of course, but yeah, I'm speaking in terms of like Redditors and Ben Shapiro fans. And that goes for everyone else that has accused Lily of these terrible things. With no evidence that can clearly prove that Lily is a bad person, besides Stockholm. Is complaining about it on the internet and trying to deplatform Lily gonna make the situation better? No, it's the internet. Move on, go to therapy, go to the gym, go jog around in the park, get a real job, quit YouTube or withdraw from YouTube at least, get a real job, get real experiences, travel when you have the money and inflation gets under control. So then there you go. Professor Teague saves the day. I have the only correct opinion here. There's no need for you all to thank me because I am the most humble YouTuber on the whole platform, and I don't need thanks. It's literally summertime. June has started, so it's time to go out, get your bathing suits on, go swim in a pool somewhere, and yeah, just have a good summer, I guess. And so the biggest contribution that this has to YouTube, people watching this and stuff, is just the fact that it can serve as entertainment. Why do people watch TLC shows all the time, like 90 Day Fiancé? It's so that they can watch these bizarre specimens of human beings interact with each other in the most degenerate way and most unnatural way possible. Alright? It's so that people can watch these shows and be like, you know, at least I'm not like that. Okay? I swear, 90 Day Fiancé has probably saved hundreds of marriages in people's personal lives because they watch this show and they're like, well, our marriage is bad, but it's not this bad. Let's learn from these degenerates on this TV show so we can fix our own relationship. I swear, if there are people that have come out on social media and explained their story of how 90 Day Fiancé taught them how to personally be not be horrible people, that would go crazy. I would love to make a video about that. So yeah, if you're looking at this Lily situation of how they might be an abuser, just know that the people accusing them are probably not much better, whether or not they are guilty of abusing someone in their lives as well. These are actual degenerates. Like, these are people that are terminally online. They throw accusations like this probably on a weekly basis with all of their other friends, and out of the two parties of this whole situation, someone is lying. It's most likely Lily, just so that they can absolve all of this kind of drama, so that they can seem like a better person by manipulating it all. But how do we know that that's completely the truth? We don't know, because there's no evidence of like most of this stuff happening. Sub to the second channel, follow the Rumble, Instagram, Twitter, X, TikTok, and join the Discord server. Follow all the social media. Bye bye. Alright, now time for the best part. If that wasn't the best part already. We're gonna read the comments. So, I don't know, I think... How much can I stretch this? Okay, there you go. So... Boom. Alright, top to bottom. I thought... Oh, maybe I should zoom in, because... Yeah, okay, I can zoom in. Yeah, why not? Why not? Sounds like a good idea. A little more. Hopefully that should be enough. If I find like a longer comment, then I'll be able to fit it in. So like right there. Yep. Alright. Let's get it on. Reading the comments now. Am I not good enough? Worthy of being loved? It's the same as just a friend. Alright. I thought you were gonna play a clip of her saying, I hate Jerry Pete. And so they create all these lies, they discover a new identity, and then they move. I don't get it. You got to remember that Lily Orchard has a reputation for lying, especially about things and people she doesn't like. So it's safe to say that she's lying about her sister Courtney, not to mention that it's common knowledge that Lily's parents favored her and her older brother over Courtney. Care to provide that with actual evidence, or are we supposed to take your words at face value? As for lying that 100% of the world population, including Courtney himself, Courtney's not a dude biologically. So why I should trust I trust Courtney and no Lily Orchard side of the story? Sarcasm. Oh my gosh, you need to take an English class. Wait, who are you replying to? This guy, okay. When you look at all the stories that Lily writes, including the fanfic that she's been denying, you know what? I want to read the comments that actually matter. Oh, here we go. Here's a good one. Man, I was so excited to hear this perspective until it got transphobic insanely quick. I do not like Lily Orchard, but her being a trans woman does not influence anything that's happened here. I beg to differ. That's why my perspective is so interesting in my opinion, because this is a situation about a bunch of leftists just whining about each other molesting someone. You molested me. No, you molested me. Like, and so there's no like right-wing perspective, and so I wanted to chime in and be like, you guys are a bunch of liptards. You guys are degenerates. I don't agree with any of you. Go outside, you know? And then this guy basically agreeing with me. It's all in Russian. I translated it. I don't think I need to read it. Okay. So, before I read this comment, this is the most intelligent comment on this video. Thank you so much for breaking the cycle. Because I was getting mad about people calling me transphobic instead of challenging the things I actually said. So let's read this comment. Sup, watch the entire video. Here are some thoughts. You mentioned in the video that alleged victims of abuse seem to have allegations of abuse. That's because abuse can be passed on. It's not always, but significantly abuse can lead to abuse down the road. It's one of the many reasons why abuse is so vile. You briefly beg the question of why, implying you need a reason. You don't need a reason, or rather the reason doesn't have to be good. People have doxed each other over losing a video game. Look, I grew up on early internet and people didn't need a reason to dox you or spam shot content on your profile. They just did it because they were trolls. The fact is anyone on the internet can lie and will lie, and Lily did make a decent point that a lot of people seemingly get upset over Lily's media takes to an extent. They want them to be canceled for something, so that's reason enough. You shouldn't rely on the fact that Lily did X or did Y. Not only is that a fallacy, but to say bluntly, this is an entirely different allegation. What are you referring to? Hello? Maybe you should say some slurs once or twice. Wait. Maybe... Okay. Maybe you said some slurs once or twice. I read that wrong. And you lied and said you never did. But just because that's a lie doesn't mean a more serious allegation against you is somehow true. Don't pull what some of the commentary dudes did, where they used Dream's fake speedrun as proof that he can't be trusted when he said he didn't act inappropriately. Okay? But, like, is it false that trans people that are abused will abuse other people? You literally... Okay? Now, I'm not trying to make any claims here that Lily did X or Y, because I don't believe anyone right now. I'm looking into this and I'm like, you know what? We're losing brain cells engaging in this situation. So I'm just going to be like, you know what? You guys are a bunch of degenerates. Transness is an ideology. I don't care what you say. And you need to go to therapy. You're a degenerate. And that caused you to become an incest freak and a trans person. Okay? Anyway. Like, okay. I appreciate that what he's pointing out is much more intelligent than what other people are saying. I even acknowledge that. Okay? And you're not 100% wrong with what you're saying here. It's just, I feel like that's the least of our worries right now. Anyway. You argue that they should communicate and somehow forgive. While noble, you can't force communication. And to be honest, if either's claims are true, then I don't blame them for not wanting to forgive. And finally, you should consider Lily's argumentation is from their perspective and what their audience perspective is. Lily is a left-leaning person. The people accusing are left-leaning. So as cringe as this was... What is this?
Charged. And while cops can be negligent in their duties...
Oh, yeah. That is not where trans people are concerned. So as cringe as this was, it's a decent point for them. If you believe you are persecuted by the law, then they should be more than willing to take any reason to arrest said person. Thank you for reading. Be well. Why, thank you. I will not kill myself now. Alright. Lily goes by she, her. If you're going to make a video off her, at least refer her as the right pronouns. 99 likes. This one got 6. This one got 3, 58, 54, 4. Me being accused of misgendering someone is one of the top comments. Nah. It's basic courtesy. It kind of opens accusations of being false if you can't do something that simple. What? And also, we watched the video. I did not misgender Lily. I said they the whole time because, yeah, I don't believe Lily is a woman. It's a dude with a deep voice that LARPs as a woman. Yeah. I'm low-key transphobic. I'm not actually transphobic. I don't hate trans people. I hate the ideology. Okay? I'll keep saying it. Alright? How is referring to a trans person as they instead of he or she transphobic? I'm being as general as I can. Like, I guess they just... I think they just know that I'm misgendering Lily in my head or something. I don't know. And yeah, here's a good point. Why show respect for a sexual predator? And then they explain, well, the allegations aren't really true right now. It's not confirmed. So you should at least respect their pronouns. Why are we so worried about pronouns? I don't want to read these replies. I'm going to be closed-minded for a second, okay? Came for the info, left because of the slight transphobia. Yeah, thank you for labeling it as slight transphobia instead of what everyone else is calling it. It's kind of wild to base your theories on an entire group of people based on a small minority of bad people who can easily co-opt the same language to hurt others. Let's see here. Yeah, same. What's with hearting the comments? Well, because, yeah, you guys want to know why I heart comments? It's because it shows that one, I read the comment, and two, I don't want people's comments to be suppressed, okay? If you say something I don't like, that doesn't mean I get to ignore it and make sure it, like, or even going as far as deleting the comment. I don't delete comments. I don't want to suppress comments. If people are saying things against what I'm saying in the video, I would love that to be at the top of the comments section. Okay? I want to know what people are thinking. And so you disagreeing with me and commenting it is the best way to do that. And so why should I suppress that? So I heart every single comment, literally every single comment, except for the replies, because the replies are attached to the comment, so, you know, that doesn't matter. So, yeah. Anyway, he hearts these so they become more visible, hoping an equally transphobic audience will... Are you serious? Trans anime profile picture. Like, what is that? It's like a... Hang on. Wait, no. Open link to new tab. They don't make content. Okay, anyway. Pretty common for non-degenerate healthy people to do childish stuff like that. Oh, wait, I think they're being ironic. That's another... I didn't even read this comment before. That's another strange transphobic accusation. I'm speechless. Like, that's kind of funny, but at the same time, no. Do you think I have that kind of influence? You think people are going to come in here and defend my transphobia? I am overwhelmed with people calling me transphobic. No, that is not happening. That's a level of paranoia not often seen outside of cokeheads. So, well done, I suppose. Okay then, sober man, what's your explanation? Because he clearly doesn't agree with the comments and doesn't respond to each. Yeah, because I don't waste my time replying to comments. I'm embodying everything I have to say about these people in this podcast episode, because that is much quicker than wasting so much of my valuable time where I could be playing Fortnite, replying to comments every single morning. Okay? By the looks of it, he does feed the algorithm or something to do with the weird way YouTube works, since he has hearted every single primary comment regardless of what side they're on. Oh my gosh, they're like brainstorming of why I heart comments. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he has. Seems to be a smaller content creator. I guess I was just assuming something I've seen before. That's what I thought. You know what they say about assumptions. Anthony Padilla has a show about that. Can't you just give me credit for admitting my mistake? Like I said, I've seen it before. When people spread narratives, some healthy defensive distrust is normal. No, I'm gonna give you dad joke tier wisdom instead because it seems like you need it. Are you flirting, daddy? Guys, get a room. Are you dating or what? Rather not. He might be a kid and don't want to end up in a drama video of my own. Facts. Oh my god. Thank you for this. I don't want to watch a million hours of crap to get what I know is way more simple. Oh, here we go. Leftists when you call them addicted to heroin. I found it ironic that idiots make a sport of demonizing Lily Orchard about her supposed crimes does not have conclusive evidence. Speculating about her past, well, how long is this? Okay, I'm reading it. Why not? I don't think I actually read this. This was a day ago. I did not read this comment. I read the beginning. And then I just stopped. I'm like, I don't got time for this. I'm here to have fun and learn about Jesus and hang out with my homies. Anyway, speculating about her past while claiming that she's lying about being an abuse victim even when there are not actual evidences to back this up. Honestly, pretty mudda-heckin' sickening to me that many of these idiots are very quick to assume despite the lack of supporting evidences. There's also a lot of weird holes and contradictions in Courtney and everyone's stories which they intentionally ignore. All of this gives me a really bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. I wish people would just realize that it is not appropriate solved a crime. You also need to take an English class. I'm sorry, but I'm having a stroke reading this. No one have actually have proof that Lily Orchard is a predator. No one haven't bothered. I'm dyslexic. No one having to bother to contact the authorities such as the FBI. Hey, I'm the FBI. I'm right here. What's going on? I'm here to arrest Lily Orchard. For this supposed crime. It's hard to believe in this type of accusations when all the accusations against Lily are based solely on faulty evidences or because someone told them. He said, she said, he didn't mean it. Testimony doesn't equal evidences, which is why FBI or law enforcement rarely take them. I also find ironic that some people claims to have reported Lily's crimes to the FBI, but it's clear that they don't have any idea how the FBI works. Some of them also claim that the FBI or any law enforcement do not take crime seriously. The reality is that actually they do take the crime seriously. The assumption about the police that or any law enforcement agency does not take crime seriously. What? It comes from idiots who don't want the proper authorities to get involved because they know. What? That the authorities will see behind their lies and get into legal trouble. So the excuses Courtney and everyone else make to avoid the authorities, it's just a huge excuse from them because they are afraid. Or is because the authorities get involved and see their lies. This drama will end quickly and they don't want it to end at all. Yes, they're making money off of this, of course. This cybercrime is this supposed to be unity? Exists for a reason. So it is clear that these idiots have no idea how the FBI or any law enforcement agency operates. One cannot simply report a crime to them and expect them to take immediate action. They have to analyze whether the case is legitimate. The only reason the proper authorities are not involved on this supposed crimes that Lily Orchard did, it is because they don't have a real case against Lily Orchard, and they know this, but they are too stubborn and prideful to admit it. Welcome to the pride. As for Courtney, Courtnet can't be trusted either. I've been talking to Courtney and he's proven to be nothing more but a huge condescending racist jerk. Again, is Courtney a dude? I swear it's a she, her. During our conversation, Courtney demonstrates that he has a huge superiority complex while playing the victim card. Really? Courtney admitted that? Despite all I did was tell him why he couldn't prove that Lily Orchard is a predator. But instead of acknowledging it, Courtney was throwing a huge tantrum about it before blocking me and deleting my posts. It doesn't surprise me at all because that's the typical reason for someone who is losing. Interesting. It is clear that Courtney doesn't have actual evidence to back up his claims on who abused who. But at least Lily admits not having evidences, while Courtney expected for us to take his words at face value. It is very childish for people on the internet to get involved on a conflict between two individuals. This is clearly a sibling rivalry between Courtney P. and Lily Orchard that neither of them got over it. Who is telling the truth? I don't know. Who known, and it doesn't matter. This is clearly a petty sibling rivalry between Courtney P. and Lily Orchard. It's nothing to do with us. But I read the note from Courtney's DeviantArt account showed by Lily, and I did found that account, so the images are legit. And in the note, Courtney apologizes for abusing Lily. So Courtney, despite all the denial he's been doing about abusing Lily, Courtney in the note admits that he was the abuser. So, after all the time denying about being the abuser, Courtney admits to being the abuser to Lily Orchard and DeviantArt. This just proves that Lily is telling the truth about Courtney all along. So the only idiots siding with Courtney are morons who already hate Lily for petty and faulty reasons. I was siding against Courtney for completely other reasons. That's kind of funny. So these morons who can't stop harassing Lily Orchard, touch some grass and take therapy. You guys clearly need it. Preach, queen. You know what you need? Not to sound mean, I'm like being genuine. English classes. Yeah. Next up, my racist great uncle gives his 2 cents on the latest Minecraft YouTuber controversy. I want to pin that. I will come back to that if I remember. Yeah. Lol, sorry to break it to you, but a lot of people just find piercings hot. There it is. No, next question. And basically they're saying, because the title of the video is Lily Orchard innocent? And they're saying, no, next question. Yes, care to actually prove otherwise? She made a pedo fanfic and she keeps bringing it up as some sort of shield. She acts sus with I Love Kim. The I Love Kim Possible interview was pretty suspicious. And writing a fanfic doesn't make someone a pedo. So you guys have very petty and faulty reason to hate Lily Orchard. Buddy, you're paranoid, and Kim Possible is acting childish over this, and she was forcing someone to talk about Lily behind her back. Lily Orchard was acting childish. The moment Kim Possible questioned her, she dropped Kim Possible on a dime. If she was sexually abused, why would she fetishize it in her writing? Because that's just what happens. It's like a whole psychology thing, you know. I think it's really interesting. But, and Kim Possible is acting childish, so neither of them are acting mature at all. I agree. Again, writing something doesn't mean anything. Neither Lily and her haters are in the right here. The only difference is that Lily at least tried to move on from this drama. Her haters, on the other hand, just want to keep going over faulty and petty reasoning. And Lily Orchard own words, the media you consume is a reflection of you. What does that say about Lily? Good question. I'm very awkward on her own hypocrisy and double standards, which I may one day may make a video essay on it. But my current argument on this is that Lily isn't a predator because no one has been able to prove it. You do not make content. Okay. Is Lily innocent? No. That has nothing to do with her being trans. It has everything to do with who she is as a person. Unless you can make a video properly addressing her with correct pronouns and leaving your biases against trans people at the door, you shouldn't make this video at all and leave the Lily bashing the people. Wait, does it continue? What are these dots doing here? I don't know. So I got heated and I replied. I admitted, okay, maybe I shouldn't have started my first point talking about the trans thing, but like, can you guys at least watch the whole video? That's basically what I was saying. Okay, so they said I think it's valid to stop watching a video that's not how you when that's how you started it. When you make a weird point like that, it brings into the question the credibility of the rest of the entire video. I'm not credible. If I start reading an academic paper and it begins spitting weird information and generalizations about black people, I'll likely stop reading it and find a different paper because it's clearly one in particular isn't very reliable. If you want an actual answer, since you're genuinely curious, no, I did not watch the rest of the video after the first 5 minutes because I came to hear what the latest news on Lily Orchard was and not to hear you yap about how much you don't like trans people. Again, I think I put this on Twitter. This is how they get you. They declare you an enemy because you don't agree with them. And so suddenly you don't like trans people, aka you're transphobic. Okay? I never said I didn't like trans people. Not a single time in that video. Okay. You want me to respect your major points? Then make them. And not whatever that was. And then don't go acting all triggered in the comments pretending that, no, actually, it's everyone else who's triggered. Fair point. Is Lily innocent? Yes, until proven otherwise. Are you people childish? Yes, because you folks are acting completely immature over trivial matter. Is this about the pronouns or the transphobia, or is this about everything in general? I don't know. Okay. Went a few minutes into this thinking you sounded like I might get a decent, honest perspective on who this person is, only for you to drop all the trans people are mentally ill and dropping the term gender ideologies. It took me so long to hear what was wrong with Keffels from a trustworthy source, because drama YouTube is really just full of transphobes. Really? It took you so long to hear what was wrong with Keffels? Are you serious? And the people showing the literal evidence of this person being a bad person, you just shut out because they were transphobes? People don't hate Keffels just because Keffels is trans. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Trans profile picture. It's the same person from the other comment. Replies. Okay, guess I'll wait on the Muda video for this one too. Shame on you. I'm being condemned by a trans person. Wow. Okay, second update. When somebody troons out, what does that mean? Or styles himself with hair dye. Oh, yeah. And piercings, a style Teagues doesn't like. It is an active choice by them to look ugly as a trauma response. Why else would someone make themselves ugly to Teagues and they accuse us of acting like we're the center of the universe? I'm aware there are other reasons why people ruin their natural appearance. And I say ruin because, yeah, I don't like piercings. And, like, I think goth makeup can look cool sometimes. But what people are doing nowadays with goth makeup, it's not goth anymore. I hate it. You're butchering gothness. Okay? You know? So, yeah. Whatever. Let's continue. Third update, yeah, watch the full thing as demanded before criticism is allowed. Video just lists accusations and applies the personal vibe check of a transphobe to them, before ending with the COD footage drama YouTuber telling her to get a real job. I'll wait for the Muda video. Yeah, apparently people have to have a doctor's note to be happy. No Chick-fil-A sauce? 100% agreed. I'd love for this stuff to get on Muda's radar. I don't think that's happening. If this is how you guys react to me talking about this, Muda, his career is going to be over if he talks about the same thing, okay? There's really only two people covering Lily right now. Transphobes that just want to use the story to fuel their existing bigoted perspectives, and queer people that do the real research and criticism but have a platform too tiny for word to properly spread. I think it's the other way around. So, I don't know about that. Oh, here we go. Latest and greatest, most intelligent comment. I congratulated them. Don't worry. Weird way to talk about gay and trans people. There have been studies on trauma related to schmexual orientation. It's shown in most cases to not be related, and in my own personal opinion, experience is much, much more likely that people who are schmexually traumatized end up admitting to feeling like they're gay, but still sleeping with the same gender, or having more typical trauma responses like phobias or PTSD. Did I say that the majority of trans people were schmexual abuse victims, and that's why they're or even the gay people? No. It's an example I was specifically shedding light on because that's what Lily experienced allegedly, or even contributed to also allegedly. Like, again, maybe I should have elaborated a little more and clarified a little more. Sure, that's a valid criticism. What's frustrating is people taking what I said and be like, oh, he didn't denounce his bias, or he didn't add evidence. He's being transphobic. Oh my gosh. Like, at this point, it's just like common sense to know that I am not doing this to be transphobic. Alright. Do you even notice how much of your political opinion seems dictated by your own ego instead of logic? All the talk about how you personally need proof that trans people are happy is backwards and impossible to fulfill, as if you go into a conversation believing you can't trust how someone's claiming you've never going to come to an understanding. I didn't know we could just suddenly decide how others feel based entirely off of own subjective views or on a generalization version of trans people. Am I saying all trans people are miserable as frick? No, I even said there's some trans people out there that are genuinely happy. Did I say all trans people have a mental illness? Yes, I did. Because I think it's true. And you can't tell me otherwise. If you think it's okay to transition, there's something wrong with you. I'm sorry. It's the truth. In my opinion. Okay? But, wait, hold on. I didn't know we can just suddenly decide how others feel based entirely off of own subjective views on a generalized version of trans people. So, what's an example I can use that these people literally contribute to? Like, I don't know. Calling all Christians homophobic or something, you know? Or like saying all Southerners are racist because they want to keep the white culture alive and keep, just keep everyone slightly segregated because they don't want all the hoodlums going into their neighborhood and ruining everything. There are actual reasons why they don't want hoodlums going into their small towns. Because hoodlums are like 1,000 times more likely to make the neighborhood more filthy, and there's more crime and there's more murders. So it's an overgeneralization to say that all, I guess, pseudo-white nationalist Southerners are racist or something. I mean, if you're a white nationalist, I guess you are racist, so I guess that's not a fair label to put on them to make this argument, but whatever, like people that want to preserve the white culture. All Southerners that have value to their white culture in their area are racist because they don't want to have hoodlums integrated into their area. That's an overgeneralization. Yeah, there are some racist white people, but is that all of them? Is the single reason of why they don't want black people to move into their neighborhood because they're black? No. It's because a bunch of black people are poor and criminals. Okay? Is that false? No. Look at the statistics. Literally, go to Baltimore, Chicago, Atlanta, LA. You can literally see it. Gang violence. You can't hide it. Like, these people are just closed-minded, okay? Okay. Most trans peoples are abused. You say this and run with it even though it's a blatant generalization. Then you start talking about how they make themselves as unattractive as possible, mentioning things like piercings and dyed hair, and it's almost embarrassing how much of what you've stated as fact is entirely subjective. Attractiveness is almost universally seen as different to each person within cultural context, and yet here you are making bold claims about an extremely popular style. I'm pretty sure emo and goth girls have been in for a few years now, mate. More than a few years. And again, I know people like piercings, colored hair, and terrible makeup. I understand that. I even said some people choose that style because they're bored or they're replicating a style. I know. But is it false that people that get piercings, color their hair, and have horrible scents and makeup are they not mentally ill sometimes? At least sometimes? You can't, there's no way you can deny that. You can find at least one person that look like what I described that is like severely mentally ill. They're on meds. They're in therapy. They were abused somewhere. I have known multiple in my life that fit that exact description. Okay? Like, that's my issue. Are we going to deny that some of these things are true for people? Am I saying all of them are like this? No. What I am saying is that all trans people are mentally ill. And I am concerned for them. I don't think all of them should kill themselves over it. Because once they do kill themselves, they blame it on people like me. Because I want to help them. Do I think I'm going to convert a bunch of them? Heck no. But I want to get the message out there to show that I am not going to stand for how this community has evolved over the past 4 years. Or 5 years. Arguably. I was an ally in 2019, but even then, looking back at it, I don't know. I don't support some of the things they were doing in 2019. Anyway, there are plenty of real criticisms to be made about online queer spaces and with how cruel people are within these spaces, but if you're still bringing up unproven claims that exist only to devalue the opinions of queer people, like your opinions about trauma making people queer, you clearly aren't going to engage with the nuances that exist around queer politics and the people who are involved with them. Can you give me an example? I mentioned this earlier. They say I'm wrong, and then they don't give, like, any evidence. To be fair, I wasn't given any evidence either. But here's the thing. I can say that my content can be bait sometimes. Like, I purposely leave out evidence, not only because I'm lazy and I don't want to, but so that I want people to educate me. I'm, like, genuinely curious. If I leave out a bunch of actual evidence that would be really useful, how would people react? And so here's the reaction. People saying that I'm wrong and then not even doing the extra steps. Not even filling it in. And so there's really no winner here. Okay? Okay. So I actually do somewhat agree with what you're saying about trans people, but it seems like you focus way too heavily on that in order to stretch the video out. Is the evidence really not... Why is it ... Why can't I read the whole thing? That's like the second comment where it's like that. I don't know what that is. As someone who doesn't like Lily Orchard and believes she... Oh no, is this the... Okay, no, it's not that one. Okay. As someone that doesn't like Lily Orchard and believes she did do a lot of crap that was said about any point you had was lost with the blatant transphobia, completely with the misinformation and misgendering. I did not misgender Lily. I said they. I'm being general. How is that misgendering? Her being trans has nothing to do with her being a bad person. Her actions to hurt people does. Me mentioning her being trans adds on to the fact that she's a degenerate that doesn't want to have an actual conversation about her past traumas with her literal family members, and so they continue this beef that they had for 2 decades, and they just spill it out on the internet for everyone to see, and they try to get each other canceled. These are not good people. And so the fact that they're trans, have terrible fashion senses, are sensitive, they're abuse victims, and they try to victimize each other, I'm putting those all together because these are not healthy people. Are we going to deny that trans people are sometimes, at the very least, mentally unwell and they are not fit to be someone with this much power, 100,000 subscribers? Okay. You calling transgender people existing as an ideology has the same fear-mongering attitude of people who think gay people are recruiting the youth to choose to be gay. Also, being trans isn't the thing that causes mental illness. It's the lack of societal acceptance and respect that does it. And respect that does it. There's this study from 1910 that found people who were left-handed experienced far higher rates of mental illness than right-handed peers. Interesting. It was also a time when left-handedness was actively shamed against and discriminated towards. They found that in the 60s, after they made changes like allowing kids to openly be left-handed in schools, the mental illness rates dropped, as well as the rates of people who were left-handed rose. This wasn't because the left-handed agenda is just that strong and it had tricked more kids into becoming left-handed, but the kids who were hiding the fact they were left-handed, and even actively by teachers being forced to use their right hand, as it turns out, when people feel socially unaccepted and like they shouldn't be allowed to exist, it increases the rates of things like depression and anxiety. We are social creatures, and it has been well studied that isolation discrimination hurts people on a fundamental level with things like their sense of self and tendency towards self-hatred. This has been shown in various cultures for various reasons, and I 100% agree with that. You know why that's ironic that you bring that up? That's because the LGBTs are doing exactly that. They're chastising people that simply don't agree with them, okay? We gave gay people the right to marry. We gave people the right to be trans. Wait, I think they always had a right to be trans. Whatever. And so we let them do their thing. And then, all of a sudden, in 2020, they started this war against cis straight people. They're like, if you're not gay or trans, you are not one of us. You can't be an ally. That's the extreme side of it. But yeah, and then all of a sudden, the people that are straight and not trans, they're like, wait, that's kind of strange. Where is this coming from? And they're like, what? Are you questioning my authority? Oh, will you be struck by the hand of God himself? I have cancer, Skylar. All right. So, yeah, this war in 2020 started because trans people wanted the world to be exactly like them. Okay? And if you disagree with this straight colonization, you're a transphobe. And so, mental health has declined for people that are not trans or gay, because these people are saying that they're bad people because they don't agree with their ideology. It's the same thing. And so, yeah, in turn, some conservatives are chastising the gay and trans people, and so I guess that's kind of homophobia and transphobia, sure. But most of us aren't doing that. We don't care if you take it up the butt or scissor another woman. We don't care if you snip your pee-pee off and get implants. Now, I kind of care. I think that is damaging. But most of us legitimately don't care. This is America. We do not care what you do with your body. Okay? So, yes, there are bad apples out there that contribute to this chastising thing with the left-handed people. On the right, on the left, I think, is objectively worse. So yeah, you guys started it. That's what I'm saying. We gave you your rights, and then you wanted to take more. You wanted the kids to be exactly like you. You wanted the mainstream media to agree with everything you said. Okay. I studied... IA study published in the Journal of Adolescent Health showed that simply having a family member accept them and being allowed to socially transition at a young age, which I say in bold, due to how often that's conflated with physical transition by people like you. What does that mean? Wait. How often that's conflated with physical transition by people like you. Oh. Okay, social transition is when you just identify as another gender, and then physical transition is when you get the surgery. Like, yeah, social transition is objectively less harmful than physical transitioning. So, you know, whatever. Without rejection shows similar mental health levels to their non-trans peers. It, however, was found that rejection by friends and family and not being allowed to transition has been shown to have disastrous effects on trans mental health. Every single major medical and psychological association, as well as decades of research, has concluded the same. I already know, though, that people like you are actively belligerent to what the actual scientists and professionals found to be true. That is also so ironic because you guys reject science more than anyone else. A man cannot be a woman and a woman cannot be a man. Case closed. You cannot use science here. Too stuck in your fifis about trans people and what you want to be true than to pay attention to actual facts or studies. You are doing exactly that. Like traditional studies on how societies actually function and how delusional people end up falling first. You people have no philosophy, no sense of basic human psychology. Fundamental. Oh my gosh. And this was 19 hours ago. Oh my gosh. I don't think these were all the comments, but I think anyone can be a villain in any shape or form. Lily is truly an evil person with what she did for her own sister. I like how this is on the bottom of the comments. Her sister is one who essay her, why are you defending the abuser? What? They're not defending the abuser. Oh. Yeah, okay. Look at the facts of Cameron Orchard. That's the brother, right? If you see the personality of Lily and her abusive behavior to her friends, she wouldn't be a good person. Why would a younger sibling even think of hurting her own elder family? Especially not knowing what schmeck is. She preaches nothing but positive relationships. She clearly has a network of friends that is active. She had a falling out with many people because she is a rude person, but that does not condemn her. Also, her sister is psycho. If you are going to condemn Lily's rude behavior, go condemn her sister as well also. The whole Orchard family situation is disturbing to say the least. All of them turned out this way because of their abusive parents. That serves at no excuse for what they have done, but it gives us a moment to understand them. And why is Lily getting the worst of it? Why don't people dox the father, the mother, the psycho sister, brother? I have met many people who hate her, and they all pointed at her Steven Universe video. Lily makes a lot of bad takes and is rude, but if you see her response video, she literally cries in the end of it, 12 of abusers isn't punishment fitting for such a fake crime. No. No one needs to have faith on what others are saying. That is how false assumption and false accusations starter. You can't claim someone is guilty until you have evidences to actually support your claims. You can't just go around making accusations and expect for other people to believe you. We are in 2024. We are no longer living in that time when people get accused of something without evidence. Yet here you folks are assuming things and accusing others out of the blue. And when someone like me show up and criticize you all out for it, you all get triggered because you guys are too stubborn and proud to admit you were wrongs. And you humans call yourselves civilized. So true, Queen. The answer, no. The answer is yes. Until you guys actually prove otherwise, Lily Orchard is innocent. Touch grass. Lol, I liked your take on LGBT. Good job. Very bottom comment. Should I pin this? No. No, that's not going to look good on my part. Where was the comment I wanted to pin? But yeah, I guess that's it, reading comments. Okay, it was this one. I'm gonna... Wait. Oh, I'm not on the Professor Teague's account. I gotta switch. You know what? Never mind. I won't worry about it. I don't really like pinning comments anyway. But that is the funniest one. Well. There you go. I guess that's it. I'm not transphobic. All of you need to wake up. Transness is an ideology. It encourages mental illness and insecurity. It is not good for society at all. I can't think of a single good reason why transness should be a thing. Please tell me what benefits transness has on society other than the fact, oh, the kids can just be themselves. They don't need to be chastised for being different. There are very particular reasons why people should be chastised for being different. Believe me. There's so much lore. I don't want to tell the whole story. I really need to end this episode. I was bullied for being different. Look how I am now. I'm bullying other people for being different because I understand why the way I was in middle school was weird. I was in the FNAF fandom. Okay? I shipped my own cat with Funtime Foxy from Sister Location. And for some reason, I shouldn't have been bullied? Are you serious? I have the degenerate accusation pass because I was a degenerate. In some ways, I still am. If I met someone that was exactly like me, would I call them a healthy person? Heck no. You know why? I am an active member of self-improvement. I am aware that some of the things I do are not healthy. I am addicted to video games and Twitter. Would I encourage that on anyone else? No. So, if I was trans, would I encourage someone else to be trans? I hope not. Oh my gosh. You know what you should do? You should exercise. I lift weights and I go for jogs twice a week. How about that? Okay. Hang on, this gun show. They look horrible in the webcam. They look so much better in the mirror. Okay, well, I guess that's it. Sub to the main channel, follow the Rumble, Instagram, Twitter, X, TikTok, and join the Discord server. Follow other social media. Bye-bye. Remember, everyone, it's all just for funsies. Bye-bye.